there! Today we're going to be reading from our comprehension book called Mirror Mirror. The reason that we're reading this story is because it allows us to get a different perspective of some of the famous fairy tales that we all know and love. If you take a look at the picture, you can see that there are two separate characters. You have a female character on the top and a male character on the bottom. Pretty standard for a fairy tale. However, if you look a little bit closer at the picture, you can see that there are two sides to our characters. We have a side that's in the dark side, which would be nighttime maybe, or possibly evil. And then we have the light side, which would be possibly good, or maybe daytime. It depends on the perspective. But in this particular story, we're going to hear from two different perspectives. Sometimes they're not the people that are in the story. Sometimes they're an outside person. Let's find out what happens. Mirror Mirror by our friend Marilyn Singer and illustrated by Josie Massey. Take a look at the picture. Here's the top. And when you flip it around, there's the bottom. So who's looking at who? Let's find out. In the first picture that we have some very well-known characters. Who are they? Think for a second. It's Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. What kind of a mind movie do you get when you hear Red Riding Hood? How about the wolf? This story is called Mirror Mirror, but then it has a subtitle, which is A Book of Reversible Verse. Now, verse is a type of poetry. So this story is going to be poems. Poems don't necessarily have to rhyme, which makes it pretty cool because a lot of these don't rhyme. So when you look at the picture, what do you see? Now listen to the words and find out. And of course, the artist and author dedicate the story to poets and pals. I'm going to give a list of their friends and pals at the end of the story occur. Here we go. I'm going to show you the picture. What do you see in the picture? Listen to the words. In reverse. Who says it's true? Down is the only view. If you believe that, this poem will challenge you. Up is something new. That is from the perspective of somebody in the story. What do you think about that? If you look, you can see that someone is looking down and someone is looking up. If you flip it, someone is looking down and someone else is looking up. That's the other perspective. Something new is up. You will challenge this poem if you believe that the only view is down. It's true, says who. So which perspective is which? That's up to you to determine. And again, the poems are written pretty much literally in reverse. For instance, when you look at the first one, it says who, and the second one ends with the word who. So you could read up or you could read down. And you would get this different perspective for each one you looked at. First story. Here's the picture. Listen to the words and see if you can figure out whose perspective is coming from. Cinderella's double life. Isn't life unfair? Stuck in a corner while they're waiting for a chance with the prince, dancing waltz after waltz at the ball. I'll be shining these shoes till the clock strikes midnight. Which story are we telling it from? Till the clock strikes midnight, these shoes I'll be shining at the ball. Waltz after waltz with the prince, while they're waiting for a chance stuck in a corner. Isn't life unfair? Whose perspective is that one told from? Take a look at the picture, see if you can figure it out. They're both Cinderella, but one of them is Cinderella in her house, doing her chores, The other one is Cinderella dancing at the ball. There's one. The Sleeping Beauty and the Wide Awake Prince. Whose perspective is which one told from? Typical, hacking through briars, looking for love, the prince at work. But I'll have to be sleeping, never partying, never out in the world. It's no fun being in a fairy tale. Whose perspective is that one told from? Second one. In a fairy tale, it's no fun being out in the world, never partying, never sleeping. But I have to be the prince at work, looking for love, hacking through briars. Typical. Which one is that one told from? The first one is Sleeping Beauty, the second one is the prince. You got that? Good job. That's the story. Here's the story. Here's the picture. See if you can tell what perspective it's told from. And again, it may not be anyone in the story, or they could be in such a small part that we don't see them. Look closely at the picture. No wonder she felt snippy, sweeping the floor. It took forever to manage all that pale, tangled, dangling hair. Cut it off. Shut up in the tower. Who is that strange girl with the weird name? You know, someone said her mother was a witch. It figures. If you look to the side there, you can see that the prince is standing behind the castle, and that's who that perspective is told from. Second one. It figures. Someone said her mother was a witch. You know, that strange girl with the weird name who was shut up in the tower. Cut off all that pale, tangled, dangling hair. Took forever to manage, sweeping the floor. No wonder she felt snippy. That is told from Rapunzel's perspective. This one's called In the Hood. In my hood, skipping through the wood, carrying a basket, picking berries to eat, juicy and sweet, what a treat. But a girl mustn't dawdle. After all, Grandma's waiting. Whose perspective is that one told from? Second one. After all, Grandma's waiting. Mustn't dawdle. But a girl, what a treat. Juicy and sweet, picking berries to eat, carrying a basket, skipping through the wood in my hood. Who's that from? You are right if you said it's from the wolf. The second one is from the wolf. The first one is from Red Riding Hood. This is the story of the ugly duckling. Try to figure out which one is which. The doubtful duckling. Someday I'll turn into a swan. No way I'll stay ugly, stubby, and gray. Plain to see, look at me, a beauty I'll be. That's the second one. A beauty I'll be? Look at me, plain to see, stubby and gray, an ugly duckling. I'll stay. No way. I'll turn into a swan someday. Which one is which? In my mind movie, it's the ugly duckling that's telling the story from the first one. He wants to become a swan. In the second one, my mind movie says it's the swan worried about still looking like an ugly duckling. Your decision, your perspective. There are no wrong answers here. This one is Snow White. Take a look at the pictures. Take a look at the story. Listen to see if you can figure out whose perspective it's from. called Mirror Mirror. Mirror Mirror, let me help you get some rest. Mother knows best. Listen to me, Snow White. Sleepy, dopey, happy. You've been working day and night. You look worn out. A long nap? A blanket? An apple to eat? What would you like? Time to get off your feet. Which one is that told from? It is the evil queen as a kind, benevolent, loving, good stepmother. Very good. Second one. Time to get off your feet. What would you like? An apple to eat? A blanket? A long nap? You look worn out. You've been working day and night. Sleepy, dopey, happy Snow White, listen to me. Mother knows best. Let me help you get some rest. It is still the evil queen as the old woman, except this time she's not trying to poison her. She's trying to help her. I love this one. This is Jack and the Beanstalk, called Full of Beans. What will happen next? Little does he know. A giant beanstalk is about to reach the clouds through the fragrant green air. A boy waits in the garden. Cow, market, beans, leading to this moment. Time to climb. Which picture does that one tell about? I think it's the one with Jack because he doesn't know what's up there. Here's the second one. Time to climb, leading to this moment. Cow, market, beans, garden. A boy waits in the fragrant green air. Through the clouds, the beanstalk is about to reach a giant. Little does he know what will happen next. So this one is also told from the perspective of Jack, from someone outside the story that's telling Jack what's going to happen. He's got adventure coming. So what's going to happen? He's going to meet the giant. But the beanstalk is leading to the giant in the second one. And a giant beanstalk is taken in there in the first one. And there's the beans. I really like this one because Goldilocks and the Three Bears always get a, well, they did it, she did it perspective. So this one gives you a little bit more of a perspective than that one. Beans, bears in the news. Asleep in a cub's bed, blonde, startled by bears. That's the headline. The headline read, next day Goldilocks claimed they should have left the door unlocked. She ate the porridge, she broke the chair. Big deal? No, they weren't there. Oh, that makes the bears the perpetrators or the people responsible for the crime in that story. How about the second one? They weren't there. No big deal. A chair broke. She ate the porridge and she unlocked the door. They shouldn't have left, Goldilocks claimed. Next day, the headline read, Bear startled by blonde asleep in cub's bed. So in this story, Goldilocks is the perpetrator or the one responsible for the crime. She's in the bear's house instead of the bears finding her and scaring her. She scared the bears. This is Hansel and Gretel. Have another chocolate. Fatten up, boy. Don't you like prime rib? Then your hostess, she will roast you a goose. Have another chocolate. Eat another piece of gingerbread. When you hold it out, your finger feels like a bone. Fatten up. Don't keep her waiting. Told from the perspective of the witch or someone that's part of the witch, trying to get him to fatten up because she's such a sweet hostess. We know better, right? Here's the second one. Keep her waiting. Don't fatten up. A bone feels like your finger when you hold it out. Eat another piece of gingerbread. Have another chocolate. Goose? Then your hostess, she will roast you like prime rib. Don't you fatten up, boy. Second picture. Gretel worried about her brother. So she calls him a goose instead of having him be roasted a goose. This is the story of Rumpelstiltskin. If you can look in the top there, you can see that it's woven in flax around the spinning wheel, and there's his name. Rumpelstiltskin is a story about a young maiden who is responsible for spinning flax and making clothing on a spinning wheel. And one day, the little man named Rumpelstiltskin comes into her life and offers to help her make money by spinning flax of gold. If she can remember his name, she can keep it. Well, she can't remember his name because he never tells her. But she does everything in her power to tell him that his name is so many different names. And every day she gives him a different name. Finally, she finds out from someone, and I'm not going to tell you who because that's part of the story, what his name is. And she says his name. The way that the videos portray him is a little bit different. If you've ever watched Once Upon a Time, Rumpelstiltskin is Mr. Gold. He's a little bit of a different character. In this particular story, though, we're going with the original Rumpelstiltskin, which is the gentleman there in the red dancing in the fire. First story. Do you know my name? Think of straw turned to gold. In this story, I am famous, but not liked. I am betrayed by greed, a girl, and my foolish self. That's Rumpelstiltskin's story. Here's the second one. My foolish self, a girl by greed, betrayed. I am liked, but not famous. In this story, think of straw turned to gold. Do you know my name? And she is the farmer's daughter. The flax that ties them together. This one's called Disappointment. And as you can see, it is the story of the Princess Frog. Or as we call it, the Princess and the Frog. Disney kind of took that one and went a little bit of a different direction with it. But in this one, it is the Princess and the Frog, the original story, called Disappointment. The princess who kissed that frog, he stayed green. He kept croaking, shame on you. Only once, you fool, she cried when he tried for a second kiss. She couldn't believe such disappointment. Isn't this a fairy tale? Where's the happy ending? He didn't turn into a prince in that one. That's from the perspective of the princess. The frog. Where's the happy ending? A fairy tale this isn't. That's disappointment. She couldn't believe when he tried for a second kiss. She cried, fool, you only once. Shame on you. He kept croaking. He stayed green. That frog who kissed the princess. It's also from the perspective of the princess, but it's a little different. In both of these stories, he doesn't become a prince. This is my favorite fairy tale of all times, and it is Beauty and the Beast. See if you can tell whose perspective this is from. A beast can love beauty, a moist muzzle can welcome a rose, a hairy ear can prize a nightingale singing. Beneath fur, look, a soft heart stirs longing. And that is, of course, from the beast's perspective. Second one, longing stirs a soft heart. Look beneath the fur. A nightingale singing can prize a hairy ear. A rose can welcome a moist muzzle. Beasts can love a beauty. Beauty can love a beast. And as you can see, they both have the same love story. Perspective. This is not part of an actual fairy tale, but it is a great way to end the story, called The Road. It may be such a fairy tale secret, this much I know. The road leads wherever you need to go. Second part. You need to go wherever the road leads. I know this much. A fairy tale secret? It may be such. That's the ending. So where are we going? What is our mind movie? With each of the stories that you've just heard, of course you're developing your own mind movie and you're developing your own way of looking at things. I would like to know what you're thinking. please post it in the classroom. Thank you so much. Bye.